Welcome to Amplify, a podcast series by the Association for Accounting Marketing. I'm Scott Dine, Principal and Technical Director at Catalyst Group Marketing. I'm your host for today's session. Joining me today is Mishel Justesen. Mishel is the Marketing Technology Manager at Armanino. She has quite the resume of lecturing experience on marketing technology all across the U.S., including the Winning is Everything conference this past January. Welcome, Mishel.
Thanks, Scott. Happy to be here.
Excellent. Today, we're going to be talking about building your marketing technology stack. For those of our listeners that may not be familiar with the term, a marketing technology stack is a group of technologies that marketers leverage to execute, analyze, and improve their marketing initiatives.
That's a very good description, Scott, and it just happens to be my most favorite topic in the whole world.
Fantastic. I'm glad we have you with us today. So, what would be the first step that you would take when starting, or one of our listeners might take, when starting to build a marketing technology stack of their own?
Well, there's two main things that I recommend you do. The first thing is to become best friends with your IT department, for sure, because what's going to be important about that is knowing the technology that your firm has in place.
Okay.
So it's really helpful to ask them if they've done an audit of the tech that they have in overall firm-wide. And then the second piece that I recommend doing is an audit of your own marketing technology stack. And I mean, do everything, like the website is in your stack, your database, whatever you're using to manage your database. If you have an account like Constant Contact, or even a little an app or something you're using to check email, to check the emails are valid for your marketing efforts. Anything that you're doing that is a piece of technology needs to go into that audit.
That's a great idea to do the audit, because there's so many technologies that each of us use for, whether it's be personal or business. It's probably a good idea to do that audit, just so you have a good grasp on everything that you are using.
Yes, and just as an example, recently, in fact, yesterday, I was talking to my webmaster, and he mentioned an app that he was using called Screaming Frog, which is a tool that's used for SEO. And it's the first time I heard that we had access to a tool like that. So I've been at this for many years, and I've done many audits of my tech, and there's always something out there that you don't think about. So
yes. Even
something like that, a tool that you're using for reporting or something like that, should be part of your audit.
We need an app for the audit for the apps.
Yes, yes, exactly. And there's a term that the IT department likes to use. It's called shadow IT. And yes, and what that means is that departments kind of have their own technology stack going on, and obviously marketing is a big part of what a potential shadow IT department could have. Okay. And so I feel like I have my own shadow IT in my own department when I find out things like that. So
excellent, yeah.
So look for the shadow IT in your marketing technology stack as well.
I like that. Excellent. Okay, so what are the top 3 technology platforms that need to be in a marketing technology stack?
Well, I'm going to talk specifically about the type of companies that we work for. We're an accounting marketing organization, so that the top 3 will change. But at the core for accounting and consulting firms, professional service firms, you need a CRM, you need a website. A really good website, a content management system that's robust enough to grow with your firm, and a marketing automation platform. Okay.
No, that's excellent. I think those are 3 very important and vital pieces of the stack, for sure.
Yeah. And, the reason why I was very specific in saying outside, I'm not talking about companies outside of our industry, is because if you're a media agency or a bigger firm, obviously you're going to need some sort of management platform for that type of media. So I haven't found any accounting marketing departments needing something to manage TV ads or anything like that. So that's why I was being very specific about, for accounting marketing, we need a CRM, we need a really good website, and we need marketing automation.
Excellent. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So of all of the potential items in the marketing technology stack, what is the most important piece?
Your CRM.
Sure.
Yeah. The CRM, you know, I hate to play favorites with technology because to me they're all my babies. But
Yeah.
my CRM is my favorite child.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because it's the lifeblood of your data. Your data's got to flow in somewhere, and if you don't have a good place to manage data, then you really don't have anything. Your technology isn't going to run very well without good data. So I know the argument could be the website because that's the outside-facing brand for your firm and the portal to where potentially a lot of lead generation and all of that can happen.
Sure.
But again, lead generation means pieces of data going into your system, and you need to have a place to store that. So I still always go back to CRM being my core piece of technology.
No, I think that's an excellent point. Just having all the information in one place and kind of keeping it organized is extremely important.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So who are kind of the key team members that you need to have on your team for that stack?
You need a me. I'm a marketing technologist.
Okay,
but,
sure.
yeah, of course. But that's obvious, right? No, the key person on my team is my web guy or gal. I mean, obviously you can have a web gal.
Sure.
You need someone who understands how to do website development. That really is a key piece on your team because those skills can be translated into so many different things. You know, when you have a marketing automation platform and you have to build landing pages and email templates, that's all based on code.
Sure.
So it's really important to have someone on your team that's really good with code. So I find that team member is really, really important. I also, another team member, again, going back to that IT department, your CIO or your director of marketing, they need to be really considered part of your team because when you make nice with the IT department, you get lots of good things out of it. So, you know, for example,
you get a tip for the pros.
Oh, absolutely. I can't do my job without the support from the IT department. And I do want to point out that this part of the conversation is important to me because for me, I want to stay as autonomous as possible from the IT department when it comes specifically to my marketing technology. I don't want to have to rely on them to build campaigns in my marketing automation or anything like that. So IT is not meant to do that. What I do rely on them for is keeping in touch with them for things like a lot of times the hosting is handled by the IT department and new technology coming into the firm may be a nice addition to your marketing technology stack, like a project management platform or something like that. So really, I want to make sure that listeners understand that I'm not suggesting that IT supports your stack. That should live within marketing.
Okay,
but when it comes to collaboration and understanding what's going on within the firm, having that IT advocate is really important.
Okay, no, I think that's excellent advice. Make IT your friends.
Yes, it's always a good thing.
Good. So if a firm, maybe one of the smaller firms, doesn't necessarily have the IT on staff, how about outsourcing either IT or outsourcing technical expertise? Yeah,
so outsourcing is a very good segue in this conversation because I could not do my job without outsourcing.
Okay.
So I know a lot of smaller firms, I mean, you have to have some sort of IT function in our day and age. I'm sure every company has some sort of IT help. You know, somebody's handling the network and that sort of thing. So if it's outsourced, again, still learn who that outsourced resource is and make sure that they understand the technology stack that you have.
Okay,
it's important. It's important. You may never need them, but you know, that IT person may have ideas for you if they run into other technology. So it's just good to have an open conversation with anybody that's outsourced at your firm for IT. Now, outsourced experts for marketing technology. That's where I really want to focus now, because I honestly, I have, I wouldn't, again, I would not be able to do my job at Armanino if I didn't have my outsourced partners. I don't call them vendors.
Sure.
They are my partners. Sometimes they're partners in crime because we got to figure out how to hack something together to make something work. But
certainly,
outsourcing is good because there are a lot of firms out there supporting the kind of tech that I have. They're specifically supporting, I have dynamic CRM.
Okay.
We have a dedicated admin internally for that, so I don't have to outsource help there, but we do outsource the JavaScripting that needs to happen for our CRM. So we couldn't do the really fancy things that we do with our CRM without that outsourced help. And I have an outsourced team for my website and for my marketing automation platform. We're using Eloqua. So what's great about it is that I've hired vendors that know those platforms specifically. I have a dedicated account rep. It's less expensive than hiring someone full-time, and I can use them just when I need them. And a lot of times, specifically with my outsourced marketing automation platform, my Eloqua developer, they have other resources too, and they're able to provide best practices. If there's something that we've not done before as a department, I get a lot of expertise from their firm as a whole, so I don't have to hire it in. My web guy, I mentioned, my right-hand person, he is so busy just maintaining our Sitecore-based website that we wouldn't be able to do everything we need to do with it without our developers. So it's just a really nice, affordable way to bring another team member in and be able to really have a larger kind of reach of expertise with these firms.
Okay, no, that's excellent. So with outsourcing tech and looking for, or like building your stack, can you give our listeners an idea of how much they should be putting into their marketing technology stack?
Oh boy, yes, the loaded question. How much money does Mishel spend on her technology? So Armanino spends, so we have different budgets that happen in different departments, right? So my marketing technology budget is 27% of the marketing budget. So it's, right now it's at about 27%. Now, I totally am going to be in charge of way more of a budget as we go forward, because as the technology stack grows, you have to spend more money. Now that 27% includes the licensing for each of the platforms, the use of the platforms, and also includes my outsourced partners. So, and there's, in marketing technology land, there's this saying that I keep hearing over and over again, and it's that the marketing technology budget is going to rival that of the IT department in a very short amount of time.
I've heard that too.
And yes, I've heard that, and I believe it. I really believe it. So I have a technology roadmap that I have set for the next 3 years, and that budget is growing a lot every year. So so that 27%, since we are recording that and it's going to be documented now, just keep in mind that that's going to grow.
Gotcha. Oh my gosh. I wonder if the other partners are listening. They're like, oh, okay.
That's the thing that's actually a really good comment, because one of the pain points that I have right now, and I think this is a kind of a common pain point that we'll always have as marketers, is kind of figuring out how to measure the ROI of our efforts.
Exactly. Right.
And one of the things I didn't mention as part of the hub of my technology stack earlier is that I'm actually building a reporting platform to be able to knit all of that data together so that we can see the full view of our marketing efforts and be able to attribute our efforts to closed opportunities that we've won, right, out of our CRM.
Excellent. Yeah.
And so that's, that's how you get the money to build your marketing technology stack, because
gotta show that it works.
you can, if you can start attributing the value of your efforts to something with a hard number, especially working for accounting firms, let's be honest, they want
Right.
to know if it's going to work before it works.
Sure.
So if you can start attributing some numbers to what you're doing, that really helps, with the making the business case for more money next year.
Exactly. All right. So we've kind of touched on like what needs to be kind of in the stack, and some key team members, and how much. So what have been some of your biggest challenges that you've had with your marketing technology stack, or any of the items combined?
I think my biggest challenge is people, right? So,
right.
and I know that's loaded. So let me explain.
Sure.
I think the technology doesn't work unless you understand what the need is. And because the technology that we use can be so complex, it tends to overwhelm people. Okay. And so I spend a lot of time doing, hitting the timeout button, right, and doing what I call lunch and learn sessions. So I feed people food, okay, and tell them how the technology works, so that they start to understand what they need to tell me to be able to make the technology work the way it needs to. Okay. So that is my biggest challenge, is helping people to help me, and so that I can build the technology in a way that makes sense. So the other thing that I have a challenge with is data silos. Okay. So data silos, the data lives in so many different pieces of technology that getting them stitched together to be able to tell the story of that mysterious ROI. Sure. Oh my goodness. I have to figure out how to integrate everything. So that's another piece, the data silos and the integration between the different pieces of technology, getting them to talk. Absolutely. And play well together. So those are three challenges I'm facing right now. And I'm sure they're pretty common to most marketing departments that have a big technology stack. Oh,
absolutely. Especially when you're involved with those stacks, and that sometimes one technology will integrate with another one, and you're just kind of sitting there hoping with your fingers crossed that maybe the next time when they do an update that your technologies will be stitched together more seamlessly.
That's funny you say that. I actually will tell the salesperson I have on a call to say, you know what, I'm not interested right now. Call me when you got an integration, because I can't. I don't have time to deal with another data silo.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my goodness. Okay. So what's speaking back to the IT portion? What is the role of kind of the IT department? That if you've got an IT department with you, with your firm, what is the role of the IT department when it comes to kind of supporting the marketing technology staff?
Well, I think I've kind of hinted at that in our conversation. So why don't I give you an example of how it works at Armanino? That might be a good example. Okay. And help kind of give you a story. Because we're marketers, we all love stories, right? Right. So earlier this year, I started a really large upgrade to our firm website, back-end upgrade, not front-end. So if anybody's visiting our firm website in a few months, it'll look exactly the same. You just won't be able to see what's behind the scenes. Okay. And part of that upgrade included needing to change our hosting, because we had to get different servers that could handle the new database and the new infrastructure for the website. Sure. So we had to split the cost between IT, because they handle hosting for all of our websites. Oh, I see. Right? They also own the domain name, and the domain is hosted in our network solutions account, which is where our email configurations for the entire firm live. Oh, okay. So that is not something that IT wants, a marketing person like me to have access to, because if I don't know what I'm doing and I make, here are the keys to the kingdom. No, I don't want those keys to the kingdom. Right. So, so there is going to be some crossover with the technology you have and what IT needs to handle. So rule of thumb is when you're bringing a piece of technology in, if the licensing, like for example, CRM, if the licensing has to be distributed firm-wide, then it's an IT department function. It needs to go into the IT budget and it needs to be supported by IT. If the licensing is just affecting the marketing department, then it's just a marketing department budget item. So helping the IT department understand why the new hosting was there and spending time educating them on CRM and why it supports the marketing and sales function will help the IT department support you as a technologist to be able to continue to use something that's really vital to your technology stack. So so that story kind of crossed a couple of lines there. But basically my point is if it's a firm-wide resource, IT needs to support it. If it's just marketing department related, marketing department needs to support it, but IT needs to know about it so they can help you out of a pinch, say if your hosting goes down.
Excellent example.
Yes, thank you.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's a very good. I like kind of having the story to go along with it because that's it's a great way to kind of learn and a great way to kind of remember that. And I like this kind of rules of thumb of separating the technology. And
it was an interesting year this year trying to help IT come up to speed on what marketing means. And my joke was I handed over my CRM baby and IT didn't know how to spell CRM yet. So I had to give them a spelling lesson along with our CRM administrator, and they've done an amazing job. And they were so excited about having the CRM in the department, having access to me, and being able to understand what marketing's doing in the tech side of things. So it's been a really good experience. Yeah.
Okay. Well, great. Excellent. So that wraps up it's kind of the last question we've got for today. So that wraps it up. So thank you so much for joining us, Mishel. You've shared a lot of great information on the marketing technology stacks, and hopefully our listeners out there have been able to kind of learn some tips and tricks on building their own marketing stack.
I hope so too, and it's been a pleasure.
Great. So this wraps up another episode of AAMplify. So please watch for another podcast from the Association for Accounting Marketing, and it'll come out next month. And so as always, remember to aim high.